Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Before we dive into the price structure, just want to make you aware that I was invited to the Pragmatic Investor podcast. James, who's running this channel, he's got quite a decent followership on Seeking Alpha, and he recently started his YouTube channel, so he invited me to a podcast. You can find that on his channel. I will link the channel and the podcast in the video description. It's basically a 1 hour conversation about Elliott Wave and why Elliott Wave is so useful in crypto. So you can check that out. But let's now get back to the charts. Yeah, ETH hasn't really done anything exciting today. Bitcoin has pushed a little higher. ETH hasn't invalidated its setup. It's still sort of a 1-2 setup here with a projected third wave to the downside. We've got a trend line here. As soon as the trend line breaks, that could be the start of the third wave to the downside. ETH is not as close to key resistance as Bitcoin. Yeah, so obviously we've got a micro setup here, a small 1-2 setup in circle wave 3, which could send us down lower. But even if we break above today's high, it could simply reset circle wave 2 first. We just need to be aware that above $1,700, if the price breaks above $1,700, something more bullish has to be considered. I did explain all of that in detail in the Bitcoin videos. It's pretty much the same thing. At the moment, it's very simple as well. I can't give you probabilities, with regards to, okay, how likely is it that we go down? How likely is it that we break above resistance? I don't have a magic probabilities machine here that can give me those probabilities because they don't exist. They are dynamic and very subjective. However, what is objective is the fib level, okay, $1,700, and that's it. I'm very much, it's very simple actually. Below 1,700, I prefer a sell-off in the yellow wave count. Above 1,700, the yellow wave count will certainly become less likely, but not invalidated until the price breaks above 1,745. And if the price then breaks above 1,745, already above 1,700, I have to take the bullish scenario much more seriously. But it's sort of in this in-between space then, yeah, and I highlighted that as, or I called it no man's land, basically. If we get above that $1,700 level, again, the yellow wave count isn't invalidated, but also the white wave count looks a bit messy. It hasn't proven itself, and I will only believe the white wave count if we get 5 waves up, and it's followed by a 3-wave pullback, and then that would be the next trade setup as well for the next long trade, because with 5 waves up, we have an indication that the trend has moved back in, has changed back to an uptrend. And then it's always the case, generally, that the lowest risk setups or the lowest risk trades are when you can buy pullbacks in an uptrend. Generally, yeah, that's just general fact that these are the lowest risk trades, and I prepare to buy the first decent pullback in this uptrend if it happens, okay? So yeah, this is still the situation. All the other comments from previous videos remain valid, but I think we are not going to see too much action before tomorrow's interest rate decision. So it might be frozen right now. Interesting as well, and I've completely forgot to talk about that in the Bitcoin video, but it seems like Bitcoin and also ETH, they have sort of decoupled from the traditional markets. Yeah, it seems to have decoupled from the S&P. The S&P 500, quite a decent sell-off today. Bitcoin certainly not, okay, and that we've observed that now over the last few days and weeks. Bitcoin is starting really to decouple. That's always what I say. You can't really trust those correlations. There have been periods in the past where Bitcoin was correlated to the S&P. There have been periods where Bitcoin was not correlated. So it's this up and down, but you need to track that all the time. Is it now correlated or not? And at the moment, it's certainly not correlated or less correlated. Yeah, and that also, sometimes I get the question, can Bitcoin run or ETH, they will likely go together, if the S&P goes down? And yeah, the answer is yes, of course. It's sort of, it absolutely, because the data shows it. Okay, the data shows that Bitcoin historically has been correlated to the S&P, but also has not been correlated. There's evidence for that. So of course, it all works. Yeah, but not much more to highlight. Obviously, ETH stuck below 1664. below this key resistance level, very, very strong resistance. Above that level, we've got 1700. Above that level, we have to take a bullish scenario much more seriously. I guess tomorrow we will know more. I'll try to run a live stream tomorrow during the announcement of the interest rates. So hope to see you there. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And if you're interested in the channel membership, as a channel member, you get access to a weekly live stream. You get access to Discord and Telegram, the chat rooms, educational content. And as a gold member, you get access to signals and short-term market updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.